Is the WWE going up for sale? That's the big rumor coming out of this whole Vince McMahon situation, pushing his way back onto the board of directors. In his letter of intent, he said he wants to oversee any major media rights deal or sale. And that got the stocks all pumped and everybody got all excited about a potential sale. And that, the stock price shot way up. And this very well could be something that we see happening this year in 2023. Will Vince McMahon take WWE and just sell it? Say, fuck you guys. You pushed me out of my company. I'm not going to just go retire and let my kids and his fucking doofus son-in-law run the company. My doofus son-in-law run the company. I'm going to just sell the bitch. Fuck you guys. And I'm going to make the biggest deal in WWE history. And then I'll go retire. Having come full circle, taken it, built it into this multi-billion-dollar thing, and then sold it before I go fucking ride off into the sunset, right? Vince is a stubborn old man, and that could be exactly what he's looking to do. I'm going to go ahead and dive into this a little bit further from a few different angles, but before I do, go ahead and check out this clip here that I pulled from the Jim Cornette Experience, and this was a little bonus clip that they put out as well, talking about the possibility of WWE getting sold. Here's what he thought. Check out this clip.
He could just do this apparently all along. So I don't know actually now why it took him this long, but I'll tell you, we're going to analyze what's going on here, folks. But the motivation comes down to one of two things. Either they have been intending to sell the company this year along with the media rights, and he's, ain't nobody going to do that except me. Or he has decided now, as Vince often does when he gets an idea in his head that this is the right thing to do, that they're going to explore sales and the media rights at the same time, and ain't nobody going to do that but him. But one way or another, when somebody hands some other motherfucker a check for $5 billion, that other motherfucker receiving it is going to be Vince McMahon.
I agree with Jim Cornette. Vince isn't there to oversee a media rights deal or to take over creative. He's there to sell the bitch. Now, he could be there just to oversee a media rights deal, him saying that. I would think, whoever does the next media rights deal is going to want the majority shareholder to be on board with that. Perhaps. But do you think he's really going to push his way back in just to do a new TV deal and then just fucking ride back off into the sunset? No, he's there to sell the company, whether he has somebody already ready to buy it or whether he's just thinking that he wants to put it up for sale, or maybe he caught wind that Nick and Stephanie were already plotting to sell WWE and that Vince just, if anybody's going to do it, I'm going to do it. God damn it. Any one of those things could be the case, but I don't think Vince is going to do a hostile takeover of his own company. If he's going to do a hostile takeover of the company, let me put it this way, to just be back, he's going to take back over everything. He's going to get back into the creative end of it. He's going to oversee the day-to-day business of it. He's going to be a thorn in everybody's side, and he might remove Steph and Nick Khan or one of the two, or who knows. But I think he's there to sell the company. He's come back. He got pushed out of his company by his own kids. Granted, there were scandals. There were absolutely reasons to remove Vince from the company, and still are. He shouldn't even be there now. It's a bad look for WWE. But the stock got pumped because of the sale. I think Vince is there to sell the bitch. Now, who could he sell it to? And why? Okay, so let's cover the why first. Vince wants to sell it because if he's going to get pushed out of his company, that's not how a Vince McMahon goes out. This is the most Vince McMahonian move of all time. I said it in the other clip where he came back. This is Vince being Vince. He's not going to get pushed out and ride off into the sunset and go fucking knit a fucking blanket at the retirement home. Vince McMahon, if he can't be a part of it, he's going to sell it. He's not going to let his kids run it and then fucking any big major moves or deals that get made with the company not happen on his watch during his lifetime. Vince probably feels at this point that if he's not going to be running it day to day, then he's going to do the next best thing, and that's going to be sell it so that he can end his story on his terms. This is the end of his story arc. He started this fucking company from a bullshit territory. I shouldn't say a bullshit territory. It was probably the biggest territory. But it was a territory nonetheless. The WWF was a territory. And even after they left the NWA, they were still just New York. And Vince came in and he brought it global. He made the WWE a multi-billion-dollar company. He did. So how is his story going to end? Is it going to be, oh, I fucked a bunch of chicks, possibly raped a couple, maybe, and now I'm gonna have to go fucking hide my head in the sand and retire? Or is it gonna be, I built this billion-dollar company out of a small territory, and now I'm going to sell it for multi-billions of dollars, and I'm going to go down as one of the fucking biggest giant businessmen with one of the biggest giant media rights deals of all time. And that could very well be the case. And that's what I would do if I was Vince. I wouldn't be coming back in to oversee the next TV deal. I don't care about that. I mean, I do. I want to get a bigger, obviously, as a stockholder, as the majority shareholder, and just, you know, caring about the TV in general, you want the biggest media rights deal. But that's not why I want to push my way back into the company. I want to push my way back into the company to either run it again or to sell it. That's it. Only two things. And he has said that it is not his intention at this time to get involved with the day-to-day stuff, that he wants to just strictly be there to oversee media rights deals, including a possible sale. Who could buy the bitch? Disney's been floated out there quite a bit. Disney owns Star Wars, they own Marvel, they own Pixar. They are in the business of buying up media rights. They buy a lot of big properties. WWE is a big property with a huge library. It's a well-known, it's a household brand. Certainly Disney could be one of the people making the moves to do that, especially with the network. Look, any of these companies that I'm going to mention that we could talk about here, the nature of the business right now in Hollywood is media rights deals. It's these streaming services. Companies are collecting properties right now so that they can have the best streaming site out on the internet, right? All these companies are competing with Netflix now. Netflix could be a suitor for the WWE. Every single one of these media companies that have a giant streaming service that they're trying to build are in the media rights acquisitions, properties acquisitions mode right now. That's all they're doing. They're buying shit up so that they have content to put out on their fucking platform. That's it. So Disney could be a suitor for Disney Plus. I don't know that WWE would be a good fit over there, though. I know Disney's been bantered about pretty frequently, and I've even talked about that myself, and they're certainly in the mode of collecting properties, but does WWE fit in with the portfolio that they have necessarily? I don't think so, at least not at this time. NBC Universal, they already have billions of dollars invested into the WWE, from having them on USA for Raw and for NXT to having them on the Peacock network, the WWE network. Like, they're paying billions of dollars for all of this content. If you're already that invested into WWE, why not just buy it for billions of dollars? So, you know, over the course of 10 years, you're going to pay more than the $5 billion that's speculated that they're worth. It could be more than that at this point. But over the course of 10 years, you're going to spend like $10 billion. You're going to spend a lot of fucking money. You know, maybe not 10, but I don't know off the top of my head. But I know it's $1 billion deal, I think, over multi-years. But regardless, if they're invested that heavily into WWE already, they already know the product. They have a long, rich history of having the product on their TV. Just buy it, own it, hold it, keep it. You're trying to build up your Peacock platform. You want to be in the game with streaming. You already got the WWE there. Just own it. And then that way you can monetize it any way you want. And you don't have to worry about having to do renewals and new negotiations and all of that. It's just yours. This could also go to Discovery Time Warner. They're in the process of restructuring their company, and they're going to be building and relaunching a new platform. I know they own HBO Max currently, and I think Discovery has its own thing, but they're gonna merge everything, and they're gonna have a giant streaming platform as well. And they already have AEW on their content, but could they be interested in acquiring a WWE for their new platform? Possible. Their new owner has said that he's there for fandoms. He wants fandoms and that kind of thing. He likes non-scripted television, even though WWE is heavily scripted, but it's not a TV show, I guess. It's more of a reality show, that kind of thing. And that's one of their priorities. And that's why I always said AEW is going to be just fine on there. But if WWE comes up for sale, they're bigger than AEW and might be a better acquisition. And also there's rumors that Warner is, David Zaslav, the guy that took over Warner, is really there just to groom Warner Media and kind of rebundle it and package it for a sale. So maybe acquiring a WWE would help facilitate that kind of sale to somebody else in the future for the whole entire brand. They own DC, they own the Harry Potter, they own a lot of these different intellectual properties, these different media rights, the same as Disney does. So they're certainly in the game. There could be oddball outside investors. The Saudis have been kicked around. The Saudis own a piece of Twitter. Even though Elon Musk bought it, he didn't buy it with all of his own money. He has investors. And the Saudis were already deeply invested in Twitter before he bought it. He just kept them on board. Saudis have their dirty little hands in a lot of things around here. And certainly we know they love their WWE, don't they? They bring them over all the time for their, a couple times a year for Crown Jewel and whatnot. The greatest Royal Rumble, the greatest King of the Ring, the greatest WrestleMania, all that stuff that they bring over there. The Saudis could be they could just, certainly they could afford it. A couple billion, you know what I mean? Buy it, own it, run it. Maybe not run it, but you get the point. Maybe Tony Khan, maybe the Khan family, right? Papa Khan, Tony Khan, they're already invested in the wrestling business. They got billions of dollars to throw around. Even if not out of their own pocket, they could put together a deal like Musk did where they get a couple other investors around, and they could certainly merge AEW and WWE. It's not unheard of. WCW went up for sale and it was brought into the fold of WWE. Certainly it is a possibility that the Khan family could acquire WWE and bring it into the fold of AEW. Now, if they were to do that, it would be pretty goddamn stupid to, disband WWE like WWE did with WCW. They would be better off, taking over WWE and then disbanding AEW, or maybe make AEW one show, WWE another. However you want to do it, they certainly have the money and they're certainly invested in professional wrestling. I wouldn't count them out as a possible suitor for this, but I also don't think it's going to end up there. Likely, I think the top buyer for this is going to be NBC Universal. I think they're going to be first in line. They already are invested in this company and they're already familiar with the company. They have a long-term history with the company. It'll probably be really easy to just put that deal together and say, you know what, here you go. Or it could just be an outside investment group. BlackRock owns BlackRock owns everything. BlackRock is, if you ever hear that name, they're a shady fucking investment group and they own everything. I didn't even know they had a piece of WWE, but apparently they own like 1.3% of WWE. You know what I mean? So it could be an outside investment group like them, or, you know, some sort of investment group that puts together, you know, several investors and just kind of holds it, like Anthem, for example, bought Impact. They're just like in a, you know, an investment group in a business that acquires different properties like that. And that could certainly be the case too. Any way you slice it, whoever ends up taking it, I think at this point, it's got to be pretty obvious that Vince McMahon is coming back in to sell the company. Like I said, he's not coming in to just get them a new TV deal. I think that's weird. Now it could be, I don't know, but just kind of just thinking things through logically. If you're Vince McMahon, are you going to do a hostile takeover, push your way back into the board to just negotiate the next TV deal when Nick Khan is perfectly capable of handling this himself? Nick Khan was the guy that handled the TV deal last time, and he was the guy that negotiated getting them on Peacock, you know, selling the WWE network essentially to Peacock. He's already highly capable of doing it. In fact, Vince leaned on him to do all those deals. So why wouldn't, you know, Steph just lean on him to continue? You know, Nick already has those. He's already out there. He was already doing deals and representing talent, and he's already well known in the industry outside of WWE. He's the guy to put this deal together. So they don't need Vince to do a TV deal. And I don't think Vince is so stubborn. He's stubborn, but I don't think, maybe stubborn's not the right word. I don't think he's so stupid to think that he is needed to do a TV deal. And nor would he just come back on the board to do a TV deal. He could, but that seems a little silly, a little pointless. If I was ousted and I was bitter about it, and I was salty, and I wanted to plot my way back, I would either A, want to do a hostile takeover to put myself back in charge and just take back over business as usual, completely creative, all of it, or I want to come back and say, fuck all of you, I'm going to sell it. Deuces, right? That's what I would do. And I think if you think it through, that's probably how you would handle it too. You wouldn't push your way back in just to do a TV deal, because then the TV deal is going to be for 3 or 5 years or whatever. And then what's Vince going to do? He's going to twiddle his thumbs on the board and just fucking vote on stuff? No. He's going to try to push his way into creative somehow. But he said that that's not his intent. And Vince, of course, we know never changes his mind. So that's obviously he's going to stick to his word there. But he just, think it through. He's going to sell this bitch. And at this point, it's just his game plan to try to sell it, or he's already put together a deal with somebody or has interest from somebody, or there were already talks to try to sell it, and Vince is just going to push his way into spearhead said sale. Whatever the case may be, I think we are now more than ever likely to see a sale of WWE. And this is crazy. This will be the biggest wrestling story of our lifetime, it might be. Vince stepping down certainly has been so far, but he didn't step down now. He's back in, and he is back in. He's not wanting to come back in. He's on the board now again. So he's just gonna be Vince McMahon. He's gonna bully his way back into a position of power. He's going to structure and package the company in such a way which could affect the creative, by the way, because you remember last time WWE was possibly, all the big rumors that it was up for sale was when Nick Khan came in and they were cutting all these people off the roster, which was supposedly to get the balance sheet looking good and that kind of thing. They had a slim to none roster. He could get a hair up his ass and decide that he needs to oversee creative in order to kind of overhaul it and prepare it for sale. And in that Jim Cornette podcast, Brian Last, the great Brian Last, had a theory too that they could possibly just hot shot the company and hot shot creative to pump ratings and everything until it's up for sale too, until they sell it, and then, well, now it's your problem. Any number of things could happen, but if I was a betting man, I would say that this is going to be sold. But what are your thoughts? I've ranted on this long enough, and the whole Vince McMahon thing in general. Do you think it's up for sale? Do you think he just wants to run creative again and just wants to be the boss again? Do you think it's just for a media rights deal? Do you think, whatever? What are your thoughts? Do you take Vince at face value, or has he got something else up his sleeve? Let me know down in the comments, and on to the next.
Oh yeah, thanks for checking out the video. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like it if you liked it. Yeah, and you can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on the channel. Oh yeah, dig it.